How's it going, guys? It's Javi here, and unfortunately I can't do a hurricane video today, so I'm gonna just get my thoughts on what's to come this hurricane season and what has already happened. So obviously we already saw a very quiet August, but it became a lot more active as the season went on, unfortunately, and I was kind of expecting it because I didn't expect that to continue. I was like, there's no way that trend we saw in August will continue all the way through September, which is supposed to be the most active month of the hurricane season. And I was right, and I was definitely right, because right when the month of September came along, that's when we started seeing a whole bunch of tropical waves come off of Africa and develop, and we obviously now saw a landfalling hurricane in North Carolina, which was Hurricane Florence. And although it was a Category 1 when it made landfall, it stayed over the same area for hours, and it just brought devastating flooding, unfortunately, and unfortunately it killed about 20 people, and I hate to say it, but the death toll is probably gonna go up as authorities continue to confirm more information about the storm. But yeah, we just saw a huge change in the hurricane season within only a couple of months. So what do I expect going forward about this for this hurricane season? So there was a pattern. I forgot what pattern it's called, but I think it's a pattern that happens every 15 years or 20 years. So it isn't really like one season it happens and the next season it doesn't. It's basically it basically takes decades for this pattern to happen, and we're starting to enter the pattern where the hurricane season is more imminent to become more active towards the end of the month in September, as opposed to the middle or beginning of the month like usual during the month of September. So we could very well see more threats from the hurricane season. The hurricane season, in my opinion, is far from over. I still think, like, based off of what I see, September, we're still halfway through September to go, so we still have to go through September, and I also think October is definitely a very strong month. We have seen some strong October hurricanes before. We obviously saw Matthew, although it didn't really make landfall in Florida. It shows that any hurricane could strengthen into a Category 5 and come scarily close to Florida, and also devastating flooding to the Carolinas. And we also saw, obviously, Hurricane Sandy. So you might not count it because that an event like Hurricane Sandy is very rare, but it still could happen. We saw it happen also in 1991, the perfect storm. But with Sandy, it actually made landfall. The perfect storm was well offshore from the northeast. And we obviously saw Hurricane Wilma, which was devastating for the Mexico, for the Yucatan Peninsula, and also for Florida, despite being fast moving. And obviously last year we saw Nate. So I still think October is a month where Americans should still be watching. You're definitely not out of the threat once October comes. I wouldn't say until November that's when you would start to get comfortable with the hurricane season, because very rarely I see any strong hurricane in the Atlantic that would affect the U.S. in a big way. It's very rare for that to happen, since already the wind shear is there. There's so much dry air and cold air, and the westerlies during the time of November are just too strong as the northern hemisphere gets cooler during that month. But what do I expect? I expect still there's going to be a slightly above average season, because I think this season is going to be a little bit later than the other seasons, because I don't think in August like that will ever happen again. And I'm also seeing the water temperature trend start to rise into the 80s and above average at this point, and the wind shear is starting to go below average, and I'm starting to see that trend, which may encourage more tropical cyclone development. But so what do I expect? I expect still a slightly above average hurricane season, and I expect about how many more major hurricanes? I'm gonna say like 3 major hurricanes. That might be a little, I'm gonna say 3 major hurricanes, and hurricanes in total, I'm going to say 7. So I still think we're going to have a long way to go this hurricane season, and the U.S. definitely needs to be watching. So anyways, guys, I thank you guys for watching. I'll do a weather report tomorrow. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to do it today because there is still a lot to talk about in the Atlantic, and Florence is still a topic of discussion. And I thank you guys for watching. Make sure to subscribe for more, and I promise there's going to be more professional videos than this, but I thank you guys for watching.